Hey cats, what's happening? It's kind of an uncommon day. Here we are in the third part of February already, and it's 60 degrees today. It's kind of like a spring day, so I'm going to take a little stroll and just kind of enjoy the weather while I can. I have this little knoll up here in the pines I like to come up to on our property. So kind of a pretty place. You come up here and you can look over the whole pond down there. You take a seat on the table and just kind of enjoy the scenery. Oh. But you know, people don't like to talk about this thing called global warming. And some people will tell you that it's not for real, that there's no such thing, but I don't know, it makes me wonder. There's a movie that you can watch. Actually, you can find it right here on YouTube, and I'll put the link up here so you can go to it. And it's about an hour long. It's a documentary by Leonardo DiCaprio, the movie star. He narrates it, but he's got some pretty good facts. He's been really studying this global warming thing for a long time. And this movie is called Before the Flood. I highly recommend you watch it because I think your eyes will be open. Now, the facts are there. The facts are there. It shows what we are doing to our world, to the earth, how we're stripping it, we're robbing it, we're taking away everything that makes it live, and we're killing it. And why don't we do something to change it? Why don't we stop it? It's not an easy solution. It's not an easy story. We have really, major corporations have worked hard to find ways to get more natural resources for energy. So you take, for instance, coal, stripping the earth from coal. Coal doesn't just form overnight. So it's not a renewable resource. In other words, when the coal's gone, it's gone. And it's just being mined out by massive proportions these days. Then you start to look at the other mining, the fracking, where they go down and they fracture the earth far below us underground to release the gases and the oils. And then they're pumping all that stuff out. And then we see sinkholes and cave-ins. Other than energy resources, there's also food and drug type resources that are being robbed. They've mowed down millions and millions of acres of forests to use up those natural resources, and then in some cases have replanted them. And for instance, there are places where they've replanted them with palm trees to use the palm oil, which is used in almost everything today. But watch the movie, it'll explain it in more detail, and it just, you start watching it, it just makes you gasp when you start to realize how real this thing really is. So like I said, here we are in February. Normally I wouldn't be sitting up here like this with a light jacket on and a t-shirt. I'd be freezing. It would be 15 below zero. The snow would be drifting and blowing. The pond down there would be completely frozen solid. There wouldn't be any sign of water, open water down there. And right now you can go down to the water's edge and see the fish swimming around. We can take a walk down there if you want. I've got a little trail here that kind of wraps around and I planted these pine trees when they were little seedlings. I dug them up off another property and just stuck them in the ground with a shovel, and they've done very well. They've grown into large trees, probably about well, let's see, it would have been in the early 90s. It would have been in the early to mid 90s that I planted those. So they're 25-year-old trees. The algae's greening up in the pond there. You got a little fish right out in there swimming. I don't know if you can see them. They're out there. Normally you wouldn't see the fish, but the water's already warming up. Here we got a bunch of them right out here. It is pretty, but kind of weird. You know, people are already preparing for springtime, like winter's over. And that's pretty odd for February. If we look at the weather reports, pushing ahead into the next couple weeks, I think very few days we're going to be below freezing. Anyway, you know, the American Indians lived here long before the English moved in and took over their country, and the American Indians lived with this spirit that whatever you took from the land, you gave back to the land. And they were really good about that. But the times have changed, you know. We've populated this world immensely, and we've asked for more and more. We want more and more. We want quicker, faster, simpler. And all those things take resources. We want to be able to flip a switch and have lights and have heat and have water. And to have those things, there's a great cost involved. So those are my thoughts today on this February day. Just a little, it's probably about 50 degrees right now, so it's just a little bit chilly, but not cold, you know. I could be camping in this weather. In fact, really looking forward to camping. We got some camping trips coming up here in about 2 months after we're far past the threat of any frost or freezing weather, because we don't want to charge our RV up with water and then have broken pipes when the temperatures drop unexpectedly. So, well, my dock looks a bit twisted there. V was talking to me about building a new dock, and that I may have to do. I got some big ones, big fish down in there. I don't know if they'll come back over this way or not. Let's see. Now the cat's coming back. Let me get the camera down here. They swim deep, you know, and they'll come back over to this side. I think right now they're over here. There's a good reflection on the water, so you may not be able to see them too much. There's a big guy. There they go. Yep. I don't know if you could see that or not. But anyway, the ice tends to kick up the end of the dock, and then it sets it back down twisted, so it's kind of got a pretty good slant to it. And I don't really have it set on posts. There's a big flat leg on the bottom, and the posts are attached to that, so it can actually lift up and down with the ice, and it's just attached here. Really, it kind of hinges off of this end, and that end's kind of free floating. So it can set back down kind of crooked when the ice picks it up. In that case, I gotta jump in there and try to pick it up and set it back straight again. Kids used to swim out there, and they used to jump off that dock. You could run off the end of that dock and dive and not touch the bottom. It's a pretty deep little pond. And actually the hill over there is all the soil that was removed out of the pond, and it was pushed up there on that hill, and then we planted the pines up on the hill. So made ourselves a pretty little place. The grass isn't greening up yet, it's still pretty brown. V's been picking up sticks though. She's been taking a walk during the day when it's nice, so she's got a pretty good pile of twigs there for a bonfire coming up. So my guess is she'll probably fire that up one day when I'm at work, and then she'll send me pictures of it just to make me a little bit envious that I'm not at home. She likes to do that to me. That's all right though. I'll have plenty of campfires to sit around and enjoy this summer. I'm looking forward to that. All right, cats, until next time, make your life a great adventure. And maybe you can do something to change global warming.